Hey, Jim Wolf here with dating advice for men who love women. If a woman does not respect you, she cannot be in love with you. And on the other side of that coin, if you don't respect a woman, that can lower her interest in you. So respecting a woman doesn't raise female interest. However, if you don't show respect to a woman that you're dating, that can definitely lower her interest in you. So we all kind of know that respect is the cornerstone of a good relationship with anyone. And it also has specific implications when you're dating a woman or you're in a relationship with her. And that's what this presentation is about. Respect as it specifically applies to your dating life and your relationships with women. And there are also specific things that show a woman you respect her when you're dating her or you're in a relationship with her. So we're going to start by going over 3 ways that you can show respect to a woman that you're dating or that you're in a relationship with. And then after that, we're going to cover 3 ways that you can make sure that a woman is able to respect you so that she can be with you and so that she can have strong feelings for you and she can be in love with you. So make sure you stick around for those 3 tips about how to get respect from a woman that you're dating, because without that, nothing else can really get going. And even if it does, at some point, you'll crash and burn. And so let's begin with 3 ways to respect a woman that you're dating or in a relationship with. Number 1, when you're out in public with her, don't check out other women. Now, this one becomes more important the longer you're with a woman, especially if she's already your girlfriend or your wife. But this kind of behavior can lower a woman's interest in you, even on your first date with her. So here's the thing. Even though you'll always be attracted to lots of women, and there's not much you can really do about that, you want to save your wandering eyes for when the woman you're dating isn't around. You don't want to make her consciously aware of that. So remember, when you're with a woman that you're dating or you're in a relationship with, she's the only woman you're attracted to in the entire world, and she's the first woman you've ever dated. This is the attitude that you want to have when you're with her and how you want to make her feel. That's not some kind of deeper truth. It's not actually true. You probably have dated other women before. You probably will be attracted to other women, but this is the way you want her to feel when she's with you. Now, on the other side of that, you don't want to come off as creepy by giving a woman all of your attention in a super intense kind of way, or by getting too close to her too soon, or by leaning into your conversation too much to make sure you hear every sound that she makes, etc. So I'm not saying that you should just focus all of your attention on her the entire time in some kind of intense way. You just want to avoid talking about other women that you've dated with her, or that you want to date possibly, and you want to avoid checking out other women in the venue or flirting with them while you're with her. So when the cute waitress comes to refill your glass, don't check out her legs while you're on a date. Stop yourself from doing that and you're going to do much better. And again, showing a woman respect does not raise her interest in you. However, not showing a woman respect can definitely lower her interest in you, even if you've been together with her a long time. And then the second way that you can show respect to a woman is never yell at her, put her down, or physically attack her. Now, when it comes to the physical part, that should really go without saying, but it's definitely important to talk about. And then when it comes to putting her down, this is a very key point. You should never put a woman down. On the other hand, it's great if you playfully tease her. So you want to playfully tease her, and at the same time, you never want to put her down or insult her, because that's extremely disrespectful. And it can easily ruin your connection with a woman, especially if she has average self-esteem or better, which is the kind of woman that you want to be with. And so what's the difference between insulting a woman and playfully teasing her? Well, when you're insulting her or you're putting her down, you're basically just attacking her, and it's not very playful. So an example of this would be like, your nose is so ugly. That's a put down. Or you're really stupid. That's a put down. Because there's no way for her to kind of play back with that. First of all, if you're talking about one of her physical features, she has no control over that. And so you're just putting her down. There is nothing positive that can ever come from a comment like that. Or if you say that she's stupid, you're basically just insulting her as a person. You're saying that she's bad in some way. And if you really think that about someone, it's better just to not date them than it is to put them down or insult them. On the other hand, a playful tease is something like, hey, you seem like such a cool person. It's too bad I'm not attracted to you at all. And you say it kind of playfully. And the reason why that's different is because you're saying it playfully and she has an opportunity to respond to that. She knows you're being kind of playful and kind of challenging her. It feels different than if you just say something really insulting to her. And it actually feels good because that's how we kind of flirt with each other. Women tend to understand that teasing is flirting. And so it's great to playfully tease her. For example, if she drops something on the floor, you can say something playfully like, that's why we can't have nice things. That's teasing her. That's light. That's playful. And it's kind of fun. Whereas insults are really never okay. Even if you've been with a woman for 20 years and she's really doing something that's annoying you, it's never okay to really put her down or insult her in a strong way. And if you do, you should sincerely apologize and try not to do it again. Because we're all human, we all make mistakes, but you want to limit the amount of times that you insult her or put her down as much as you possibly can. And if you do something like that, it's absolutely appropriate for you to apologize as soon as possible and do your best not to do it again. Because if you keep doing that, and she has average self-esteem or better, she's eventually going to lose interest in you and she's going to leave you. So again, state your strong opinions. Tell her what you want. Feel free to communicate clearly with her and playfully tease her a lot. Just don't insult her, put her down, or yell at her. And definitely never physically attack her. And then the third way that you can show respect to a woman that you're dating or in a relationship with is to listen to her properly. And what does listening to a woman properly really mean? Well, let's start out with what it doesn't mean. Listening to a woman properly does not mean that you lean into the conversation and hang on her every word. In the beginning stages of dating, like the first 6 to 9 dates or so, you want to be leaning back for the most part. And you want to alternate between comfortable eye contact with her and then looking away a little bit. And you want to listen to what she's saying without trying too hard to hear her. Now, when you ask her an open-ended question and she responds by telling you about herself and her life, you should be able to recall most of the details she shares with you later. Just don't keep leaning in and out of the conversation like an eager puppy dog. Talk louder if you must for her to hear you, but let her lean into you if she wants. Let her come closer to you. Remember, we want to encourage her to chase you, and we want to encourage her to come to you a little bit. And you can't do that if you're always moving toward her, even in a conversation with her. And then, once you're in a committed relationship with her and she's in love with you, after the first 2 to 3 months of dating or so, you want to listen to her for at least a few minutes a day without trying to solve her problems. So when a woman's telling you about a problem, your first instinct is probably going to be to try to help her solve it or to come up with a solution. And you might not even be listening because you might already be trying to figure out what the solution should be. However, if you want to show respect to a woman, then that means that you truly believe she's capable of solving her own problems for the most part, unless she asks you for advice specifically. So when you're listening to her talk about a problem, you just want to say something like, you know what? You're such an intelligent, capable woman. I'm sure you'll figure this out. Because here's the thing. Women tend to work out their problems by talking about them and rolling them around in their minds while they talk about them. So you want to let her do that. And of course, if she asks you for your advice, then you can go ahead and give it to her, and you should. Just don't automatically assume that you have to try to solve everything for her, because she's a capable adult too, and if she's not, maybe you should date someone else. And then the last part of listening to her properly is to respect her opinions about things, no matter how outlandish they might seem to you. And if you're stuck with that, you can always say, that's interesting. Or, I never thought about it that way. So even if you don't necessarily think that her opinions are amazing, you should never put her opinions down too much. Now, here's the key to this. You don't have to agree with her opinions or say that you agree when you don't. In fact, you shouldn't do that. You just have to respect that her opinions are her business, and it's not really your job to debate her or make her change her mind. That's not your role. Her opinions are her business. They're just her opinions. And so are yours. Your opinions are just your opinions. You don't need her to agree with your opinions either. It's great if you both each have your own strong opinions, and you both are comfortable sharing those with each other and not completely crushing the other person's opinion. That's what a healthy relationship means. Both of you can share your strong opinions, and even if they don't match up, you still have that general feeling of liking the other person underneath that. That's what a healthy relationship looks like. And listen, if you find it impossible to respect a woman's opinions for some reason, then it's probably time to date someone else who's a better match for you, who maybe lines up philosophically with you more often. Now, it's never going to be the case that you meet someone that agrees with 100% of everything that you believe in and all of your opinions. That's not possible. We each have varied experiences, and we have a different worldview, and it's just impossible for two people to line up 100%. So the only real way to have a healthy relationship is to respect her opinions, even when they differ from yours. And if you can do that, then she's going to stay interested in you, assuming you did everything that you needed to do to raise her interest in you in the first place. And if you're not able to do that, every time that you disrespect a woman, it erodes her interest in you a little bit. So if you follow these 3 tips, then a woman will feel like that you respect her in terms of a romantic relationship, and she won't lose interest in you. Now, again, on the other hand, if a woman doesn't respect you, then she can't actually be in love with you, and she can't be attracted to you. And so now let's cover 3 ways that you can get respect from a woman. And the first way is related to the last point, and that is to share your own strong opinions with her, even on that first date. A lot of guys are really afraid to actually say what they really think because they kind of want to have this rapport with a woman. They want to agree with her, and they don't want to kind of get her upset or kind of risk ruining their connection with a woman. Well, that's not a really good philosophy when it comes to dating. What you want to do instead is say what you really think. And ironically, that's much more attractive even if she disagrees with you, because she wants a strong man, which means that you're able to share who you are with the world. It's actually more vulnerable for you to tell her what you really think, even if she might disagree. And that vulnerability is strength. She's looking for internal strength. That's one of the 4 male qualities that raises female interest. And you can show her that you have that by stating your own strong opinions. Now, you don't want to do this by being disagreeable. So you're not saying that she's wrong and you're right, or that your opinions are superior to everyone else's. You're just saying, this is my opinion. And you don't need anyone else to agree with it because it's your opinion. Everyone else is entitled to their opinion too. And you're also able to listen to someone else's opinion. And that makes you a very strong, attractive man. So when you're sharing your opinion with a woman, you're not trying to convince her that you're right. It's just what you think. And so it's a good thing to use phrases like, I think, and in my opinion, before you share one of your opinions in order to communicate that you realize this is just your opinion. You're not trying to convince anyone else. You're just sharing yourself with her. Because when a woman notices that you can share your strong perspective and that you can do it in a way that doesn't demean anyone else, you get double respect and her attraction for you grows. So definitely share your strong opinions, especially on the first couple of dates, because that's going to be more attractive than kind of just agreeing with her about everything, even when you don't. So try this out and you'll see what I mean. And then number 2, don't do big favors for a woman and don't do small favors for her easily in the beginning stages of dating. So here's the thing. If you let a woman use you, she can't respect you. She's never going to fall in love with the guy who comes over and mows her lawn after he's been on one date with her. Or maybe he hasn't even gone on a date with her at all. He just likes her and wants to impress her, so he starts doing things for her. She's never going to feel anything for that guy. And even if she's a super sweet, innocent kind of girl, she might still test you by seeing how far you'll go to get her positive attention. It's absolutely possible because she's looking for a strong male. And she can't just ask you if you're strong. She has to kind of see how you react to different situations over time. And one way she might test you is to ask you for favors and see how you respond. And she might not do that consciously, but that's kind of what her subconscious mind is doing. Now, of course, a lot of times when a woman asks for big favors from a man right away, she's just the kind of woman who wants to use that guy, and it would be best to avoid her. However, sometimes it's just a test, and so you have to kind of see how things play out and look for consistent patterns to know for sure. So you want to avoid women who are trying to use you, of course. However, even a woman who's not trying to use you might ask you for some kind of favor, and then your reaction to that will kind of tell her subconscious mind everything she needs to know about whether she should have strong feelings for you or not. And so, when a woman asks you for a small favor in the early stages of dating, like those first 2 or 3 dates especially, make sure you get something in return before you agree to do that favor. So, for example, if she says, "Hey, can you hold my purse for a minute while I go freshen up?" Then you can say something like, "Would you mind grabbing me a drink on your way back?" Then when she says, "Yeah, sure," then you can say, "Okay, yeah, no problem. Leave your purse with me." Or at the very least, make sure she says please before you agree to do something for her. So if she asks you to hold her purse, you can say something like, "What do you say?" And then when she says please, then you say, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So at the very least, make sure she says please. Now, if she says, "Will you hold my purse, please?" Then you can say, "Yeah, sure, but only because you said please." Now, this might sound over the top a little bit, but these little things are kind of a big deal when it comes to female attraction and her falling in love with you. You might think it's not that important, but all these little details really matter. So pay attention to this stuff. When she asks you for something, either ask her to give you something back in return before you agree, or at least make sure she says please. And here's a little pro tip for you. When you're on your first date with a woman or you first meet her, ask her for a small favor. In fact, one of the best ways to introduce yourself to a woman is to ask her to pass you a napkin or pass you the salt, etc. So if you see a woman you're interested in at a coffee shop or at a bar or something like that, she's like standing by the bar, you can just say, "Hey, pass me a napkin," if she's standing next to the bar napkins, or "Hey, pass me the salt," if she's standing next to the salt. And then once she hands you a napkin or hands you the salt, then you can say, "Hey, by the way, what's your name?" And then you can kind of get something going from there. And that already starts priming the pump for her coming to you. And that's ultimately what we want to set up. So that's a really great way to introduce yourself. And here's the big thing to keep in mind about this. We like people more when we do things for them, not when they do things for us. So if you want a woman to be more attracted to you and to like you more, let her do some things for you. Because you doing things for her does not make her more attracted to you and does not make her like you more. It makes you like her more. So you want to let her do some things for you too. Make sense? Awesome. Now, if a woman asks you to do a big favor for her during the beginning stages of dating, and that's like the first 2 to 3 months or 6 to 9 dates that you're with her, before she's deeply in love with you and before you're in a committed relationship with her, so before she becomes your official girlfriend, politely decline when she asks you for a big favor. Because she has friends who can help her move to a new apartment, mow her lawn, wash her car, etc., or help her with her taxes, whatever it is. So she has other people who can help her with that, and you don't want to fill that role. You want to fill the role of her potential boyfriend. And that's a different thing than these other friends who are helping her with everything. So you let her support network help her with that, and you politely decline. Now here's the thing. Once she's your official girlfriend and you've committed to each other, and she's also deeply in love with you because you've been doing everything right with her, then you can do a big favor for her. So then you can help her move across town if you want, and you probably should at that point. Just don't do it before that, because again, a woman can't fall or stay in love with you if she doesn't respect you. And if you're doing big things for her before she's even committed to you yet, that can easily erode her respect for you, even if she doesn't want that to be the case. So if you've been on 4 or 5 dates with a woman so far and things are going well, but you haven't officially committed to each other yet, and she says something like, "Hey, I'm moving to a new apartment. Can you come help us on Saturday?" You say, "I'd really love to, but I'm busy that day." And you politely decline that big favor. On the other hand, if you've already had the talk and she's your official girlfriend and you're sitting in your car and she's like, "Hey, I'm going to move to a new apartment next week. Can you come help us with the move?" You say, "Yeah, sure, I'd love to help." So again, once you're in a committed relationship with a woman, you can do all these big favors for her if you want, because she's already in love with you. She already respects you. You've already gone through this initial phase of attraction with her. On the other hand, if you do it before that, she's going to lose respect for you and lose interest in you, and then you won't be her boyfriend or her husband at all. Okay, and then lastly, the third way that you can get respect from a woman is to show her what you won't tolerate with your actions. So, for example, if a woman doesn't show up for a date, don't ask her out again. Or if she does something that doesn't sit well with you in your gut, talk to her about it and be prepared to walk away if necessary. See, here's the thing. This might sound unromantic, but a woman needs to know without you telling her that if things get too bad with her, you'll be able to walk away. She needs to know that. Deep down subconsciously. That's the foundation of her respect for you as a man, and you can't tell her with your mouth. You have to show her via your actions over time. She needs to know you have boundaries and standards, a line that you stick to if anyone crosses it, even if it's a woman you're very attracted to. After all, if she's going to choose to be with you, she needs to know that you can stand up to the big bad world for her and possibly your children at some point. And how can she think that you're going to be able to do that if you can't even stand up to her? See, she sees the way that you treat her as how you will potentially treat the world around you. So if you're not able to set boundaries with her, to stand up to her when you need to say no to her when you need to, then how is she going to think that you're going to be able to do that for her sometime if that's needed? And here's another thing. A lot of times when you show a woman with your actions that you have a line that she can't cross, she'll come back toward you hard because that kind of behavior raises her interest level. And at that point, you can decide if you want to keep dating her or if what she did was a total deal breaker for you. Either way, when you don't tolerate things that you don't want to tolerate, and you simply enforce your boundaries with action instead of getting pissed off, yelling at her, or throwing a temper tantrum, you get respect from the most important person in the world when it comes to getting respect: yourself. And when you respect yourself, respect from women and the world flows to you naturally. And so from now on, show respect for yourself and for the women that you're dating, and you're going to do much better in terms of a woman being interested in you. And if you want to know exactly what to do step by step from the first moment that you meet a woman that you're attracted to make her fall deeply in love with you, to make her your girlfriend if you want, to make her your wife if that's what you want, and then you want to know how to build a great relationship with her that's satisfying for both of you as long as you want to be together, go grab your copy of our best-selling Attract and Keep Her system right now. Inside the Attract and Keep Her system, you'll discover the 4 male qualities that raise female interest, assuming she's interested in you at all to begin with. And then you'll discover the 4 things that maintain her interest once you raise it to the highest possible level. So if you want a woman to fall and then stay in love with you as long as you want to be with her, go to attractandkeepher.com/system. That's attractandkeepher.com/system and grab your copy right now. And as a thank you for checking out this presentation, we have some free gifts for you as well. We have some advanced free training for you, and you can get all of that by going to datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com. That's datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com. I'm Jim Wolf with Dating Advice for Men Who Love Women. Respect yourself and the women that you're dating, and I'll talk to you later.